Welcome to Sipping Success, the ultimate podcast for all things beverage and alcohol. We are here to quench your thirst for insights, analysis, and a splash of entertainment. Get ready to dive into the world of beverages with us. From the latest trends to in-depth discussions with industry leaders, we've got it all covered. Whether you're a connoisseur or a curious sipper, Sipping Success is your go-to guide. Join us as we uncork knowledge, raise a glass to innovation, and help you elevate your brand to new heights. So grab your favorite drink, sit back, and let's sip success together. Tune in to Sipping Success and drink in the wisdom. Cheers. This podcast is brought to you by Mushroom Media, the go-to digital media agency for all things marketing. From crafting captivating campaigns to decoding social media sorcery, Mushroom Media is here to empower your brand and help you scale. So whether you're brewing, distilling, or concocting the next big thing, Mushroom Media has a solution for you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Sipping Success. I'm your host, Casey Haakinson. And this week, we are very excited to have Gabrielle Fitzpatrick, the CEO and founder of Damright Cocktails. And Gabby launched Damright Cocktails to create exactly what was missing in the spirits industry, the world's first USDA-certified organic, 100% agave tequila ready-to-drink cocktails that has a metropolitan brand identity. As the youngest woman to launch a tequila RTD, it is Gabby's mission to pave the way for other underrepresented groups in the spirits world by encouraging them to disrupt the market with innovative products like her own. So, Gabby, again, we are very happy to have you and welcome to the podcast. And
thank you so much.
Great. And we'll get started with our first question here. So tell us a little bit about your history and ultimately what led to the founding of Damright Cocktails.
Great. I was born and raised in Southern California, which I am here now. Just moved back after 10 years, which is pretty
Welcome.
fun. And I moved to the East Coast to study at Boston College, which is where I really fell in love with bartending. Not only did I study, but I spent some time, making a few extra bucks on the side, mixing some cocktails and really experimenting with creating drinks that were more health forward, as an alcoholic beverage can be. And I really fell in love with tequila, mostly because tequila, comes from the earth and it's has all these, so to speak, benefits to drinking it, obviously in moderation. But anyways, I fell in love with making cocktails for my friends, and that kind of really spurred my inspiration for Damright down the line. I graduated college and I went into the corporate world back in 2017, moved to New York City, did the corporate life, and I quickly realized that it may not have been for me. I found that there was a ladder to climb and I didn't want to climb the ladder. I kind of wanted to jump. So when COVID hit, it was my opportunity to really find what I wanted to do next. There was so much uncertainty with everyone in their lives. And for me, my career was number one at the ripe age of 24. I had no responsibility. And I got laid off from my corporate job. And I said, you know what, if it's not now, it's never. So I kind of experimented a bit with making my cocktails again. In quarantine, a lot of us were drinking a lot. So it was my opportunity to perfect my margarita. And at the very seed of it all, I wanted to can something because there was nothing out there that was a really great tasting tequila canned cocktail. At the time, you had your White Claws, High Noon had just come out, but tequila was not represented in the industry as it is, now. 4 years later. And I thought, wow, this is a perfect opportunity. So I kind of I had no idea what I was doing. All my experience from the industry was simply behind the bar, bartending, and that was very, very little knowledge of what I needed to know in order to start the business. So step by step, I said, I'm going to do this, and ultimately met my business partner and raised some money, which was very necessary, and spent about 9 months creating the product, getting all the licensing, getting all the permits, and then launched it in the summer of 2021.
Wow. So you were able to spend like 9 months kind of putting the whole puzzle piece together. How did you connect with your business partner? How did you initially meet that person?
Well, I had thought of the idea, and I thought, okay, this would be great if I could just figure out a way for me to use someone else's tequila that was already produced, because there's so much complexity that goes on into getting the licensing, the permits in Mexico. Tequila is very regulated for good reason. And so I had been reaching out to a couple of tequila companies saying, let's do this canned cocktail. And at the time, my business partner was working at Tres Agaves Tequila, and they were in the process of an acquisition. And so he knew that he was no longer working for them. And so him and I got to talking, because he had the experience with tequila that I didn't. And it was literally a cold email. And that's how I found him. And that's one of the piece of advice that I always give other entrepreneurs. Take every phone call, try every email. You have no idea who you're going to be connected with. And so that was the impetus for my career. And I really think that just by reaching out to people, you never know what it can lead to.
Wow. Yeah, great sage advice always for anyone. So that's a great story. Before we continue forward and have you talk about your brand a little bit more, I am curious to know, like, when you were kind of still just, just a younger person kind of cutting your teeth and doing some bartending, take us back to maybe a bar or an apartment in New York. Like, what kind of tequila cocktails did you like serving for your friends? Did you have anything unique that you like to go to?
Yes. I mean, I always did the skinny margarita. That was just my drink. I mean, I still do it. I do it with tequila, I do it with mezcal, I do it with anything. The skinny margarita is one of the most popular tequila drinks and tequila pairings. I also do a lot of pineapple, but it always has to be a skinny flavor. You don't want the extra calories, and that's the whole idea behind the Damright brand. You want it to taste good, but you don't want to sacrifice, you also don't want to sacrifice taste for calories. So it's the most health forward kind of drink that you can drink, because it's very clean. Maybe the margarita just has lime juice, and agave syrup, and the tequila, and a little sparkling water. So really, really clean, fresh ingredients. And that's always what I try to do still to this day. And I will do it and until, as long as I can.
That's great. And so now, fast forward to now, can you kind of take us through your flavor profiles that you offer with your RTD?
Yes. So right now we have 2 SKUs, which were the original SKUs. Adding a few more probably next quarter is the goal, which
Okay.
I'm really excited about, before summer, definitely.
Yeah.
But right now we have the lime margarita, which is just your classic skinny margarita that I keep referencing. And that was really my inspiration of what I've always done. And then the other one is a strawberry basil margarita, and that is so tasty. It's very different than anything out on the market, and I've been told that time and time again. It's strawberry, which is a very hint of basil, and we wanted to get that freshness that you really experience at a bar that a bartender has just made this drink for you. You pop it open and it's very fresh and as good of a tequila cocktail as you can get.
Great, great. Couple more questions out of that. Are you in respectfully, if the answer is no, that's fine, but are you able to tease any of your upcoming releases, flavor releases, or is that still private?
I mean, all I can say is that a lot of them are going to really focus on fruits and natural ingredients.
Okay.
And that is the biggest thing about us because we are an organic product. When you look at our cans and you read the ingredients, you're going to know what they are. Whereas like a White Claw or anything that uses a lot of preservatives or artificial ingredients, there's nothing that is really eye-catching. So these new flavors are really, really honing in on the fact that our products are organic and they're clean and they're fresh and they're coming from the earth. So, a lot of berries, a lot of citrus, and it tastes so good with tequila. That's the great thing about tequila is that it can be paired with a lot of things. And which also in hand can enhance the flavor profiles of all the ingredients. So we're really focusing on the fruits and that kind of sweet profile and maybe bumping up the ABV so that there's a little bit more tequila in the cocktails. That was kind of a big feedback. People want to be able to get some bang for their buck and know that what they're drinking might give them a little bit of a buzz. And so bumping up the alcohol content will do that.
Okay, great. And then to that end of like it being organic, we have a lot of I'll call it like entrepreneurs very much like yourself who have made their own product. So
Right.
I think there'd be people kind of interested to know like what is the shelf life of your product since you're dealing with just very few ingredients that are organic.
Very good question. And I get this question often actually, because the reality is like the challenges with scaling and making sure that you're in, and I've had my own issues with inventory and ensuring that it doesn't go bad. And that's the biggest thing with the food world and these entrepreneurs, and you hear horror stories.
Mhm.
But alcohol technically does not expire. However, with my product, since it has these ingredients in it, it will have a shelf life. And we use a process called pasteurization, which increases the longevity of these products. And
Mhm.
these cans and everything is really tested specifically for longevity of the product itself. That's one thing that the tequila world does, and it's really specific in terms of like ensuring that everything is the right pH balances and all that stuff. But
Mhm.
roundabout answer of saying my shelf life is around 2 years. So, which is great because for all these retailers, they want to know that this is not gonna, go bad really quickly. And for me as the owner, it makes my life a lot easier because I can know that I can, do a bulk order, let it sit in the warehouse for a little bit and then sell it. But yeah, in the alcohol world, it's usually people don't have to worry about that, which is good.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So 2 years, that's a long time.
It
So,
is.
and so you mentioned like that probably is a big relief right now to help you scale. So let's maybe get into those kind of more real
Yes.
business centric type questions. So, let's talk about like first up anything that you've had to adapt to since your founding that still really sticks out to you.
Um, just so so many things.
Yeah.
I think a lot of misconceptions with the entrepreneur world is that people always say yes to everything in the
Mm,
beginning. And there's certain things you should say yes to, meaning like opportunities in terms of going to events and those types of things and getting your name out doing that guerrilla marketing, so to speak, which is just being out there and putting your face in front of audiences and ensuring that people know who you are. But when you say yes to business opportunities, you could get yourself into a little bit of trouble because you run out of product or you spend too much money. And so I, in the beginning, was so gung-ho and so energetic about saying yes to all these opportunities. But I realized like I can say no to certain things and I should say no and I have to say no. Now I say no to most things. I say no to, I say no to 90% of the opportunities that come to me because my time is so valuable in terms of running the business and learning that, you have to put yourself in your business in front of it before other people, and saying yes to everything is not necessarily beneficial for you or the brand or your investors or whoever is a part of the team.
And then, so talk to us about like any sort of maybe tactics or tools that you're using that are helping you with your day to day.
Honestly, just taking breaks. I think for me, like I got burnt out so quickly that taking breaks and ensuring that like my hours that I'm working are valuable, quality over quantity. It's the
Yeah.
truth. And like you can work for hours and hours and hours, but what is the point? Because you have to have a clear mind and really be able to balance out what you're doing. And what I've done to help me is really just literally blocking off, okay, these 2 hours I'm going to spend on calling liquor stores. These 2 hours I'm going to spend on marketing and really planning every day out so specifically, and then taking the time off to go walk outside and enjoy the fruits of my labor. And I'm really in this, mental health is above all kind of era, which I didn't know in the beginning because it was just so heavy on go, 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 and ensure that you're meeting your goals constantly and not taking the time to step back and think, oh, wow, look at what I've done, right?
Yeah. It's a really good, again, good piece of advice. I think people get wrapped up in kind of the hustle culture that
Yes.
kind of exists now, or the hustle narrative. And there's nothing better than having time well spent versus just
Right.
going an inch deep, but
Right.
harming
Right.
yourself too much.
Exactly.
One question, so coming out of COVID, did you and so at that point you were probably really gung-ho, like did you go out and do a lot of taste testings? Like how did you kind of put one foot in front of the other coming out of COVID once you were really kind of operating?
Yes. So just for time frame, like the company formed October 2020, so right in the midst of COVID, and then launched it August 2021. And since August 2021, I have been traveling half of the year selling in the market, because what a lot of people don't understand about the liquor industry is that it is super archaic. And also, number one. Number two, with that means that we don't sell direct to consumer. Yes, I have an online store, but in order to have my online store, we have to sell through a distributor. And it's a B2B to C business model. And in order to sell, you have to literally go liquor store to liquor store and hand sell all this product in the beginning. That is just the nature of the beginning of a brand. And for me, I didn't have the funds to have an entire sales group. I had consultants who did do a lot of the high level selling for me, but these liquor store owners and these retailers, like the big chain stores, they want to see the owner of the brand out there. So I was traveling, and the buying season is really from February to June, in terms of like getting for my margarita, getting everything prepped for the summer.
Mhm.
And so from February to June, I was busting my ass out there selling all across the country. I mean, wherever I had my product in the stores. And it was very informative, and it was obviously a lot of work, extremely laborious, but for me it was the opportunity that I would never get, because I learned so much about not only my brand but the market itself and how this industry operates. You can't replicate that any other way by actually doing it yourself. And for me, like, that experience is so valuable, and I'm still doing it to this day. It's just looking a little bit different because I do have that footing already. And I'm really able to actually speak with the customers. And that's that, again, that guerrilla marketing, that word
Mhm.
of mouth. I can go out and sell just by being on the street. And obviously you have to have a liquor store. But
Yeah.
anyways, it was a lot. I mean, I racked up those frequent flyer miles for sure. And I have a lot of
Yeah.
points, and it was
That's
so
great.
worth it.
Yeah.
And thank God I'm in my 20s, because I'm already getting tired, but it's really very laborious, and it's that door-to-door selling that a lot of people don't realize exists today, but it does. It really does.
Yeah. Yeah. That sales component, a lot of entrepreneurs kind of, I feel like, miss on. Like they maybe have an
Mhm.
idea of what sales is, but they just don't know how much has to go into the execution, regardless of what industry they might be in. So it's
Right.
interesting that you found that right away. And I guess what so you said you like figured out a lot about your brand and a lot about the industry on those trips, making those voyages. Like, so what's like a key learning or two that you took back that, maybe sharpened yourself a little more?
Mainly about the consumer, and the consumer's fickle. The consumer doesn't necessarily care so much about the nitty-gritty of your label, or what the name is, or necessarily what's on the can or what's on your website. Like, they don't care. They don't care. They just want to know, is the price good? Does it taste good? And is it popular? I mean,
Mm,
it's really so simple, but not, like, I think just because this was such a labor of blood, sweat, and tears, and a lot of money to bring the brand to life. And so many entrepreneurs, so many businesses and companies face the same thing. They know it has to be so specific to what this consumer wants. And it's the consumer doesn't necessarily care about all the frills and everything around it. They just want to know that the product is going to get them to what they want. Like, okay, alcohol, they want to get a buzz, they want to taste something really good, and they
mm,
want it to be sweet, and they want it to give them a buzz. Okay, I have to deliver that for them. So, with the next batch, I'm giving them something a little bit sweeter. I'm giving them a little bit more alcohol. And I am going to make a damn good cocktail, and it has to be exactly what the customer wants. Otherwise, they're not going to buy it, and the brand's not going to succeed. So, with these consumer goods, I mean, any other industry for that matter, the consumer is what matters so much.
yeah, yeah. Well put, well put. Well, thanks for sharing that. And I'm interested to know then, kind of to that end, maybe let's talk about some trends and developments. Like, where do you see, particularly like the ready to drink industry, where do you see it going?
Well, it's still booming. I think it's going to be it. I mean, it's like an $80 billion industry at
Mhm.
this point. I don't think it's dying anytime soon. And what you're going to see in 2024, I mean, we're already like in mid February, which is crazy. But you're going to see a lot of these really premium cocktails. You're going to see premium cocktails. You're going to see a lot of flavor variations, not just with my brand, in the entire industry. And you're going to see premiumization. You're going to see a lot of different flavor profiles. And you're going to see a lot of tequila and a lot of mezcal, to be honest. And so, for me, that's kind of the direction that we're going, and we're giving the consumer exactly what they want. The problem is in the US, because we're just talking about the US market, in the US, the distribution of these premium spirit-based products is not plentiful. So you'll go, for example, I was in Missouri, and I'm one of the few tequila RTDs out there. And it's just because people don't think that, okay, in Missouri, they're gonna want it. But the reality is that people want these spirit-based premium cocktails that taste really good, have bold flavors, and have a higher ABV. They want that everywhere in the States. They just can't find it because it's not widely available. So you're gonna see just mass amounts of RTDs produced that are going to try to capture all of the US. I think it's gonna be really, really exciting to see what comes out, but definitely spirit-based. I mean, just to kind of explain, like, obviously you have your malt base, which is like your White Claws and your Trulies, and then you have your spirit base, which are your Damrights, your High Noons. These spirit-based products are really on a rapid rise, and they're here to stay for the next 10 plus years, whereas the malt-based are kind of on a decline. People don't want malt. They want real flavors because they know that they can get it, and they know that they're a lot tastier and, quite frankly, better for your hangovers.
Yeah. No, and it's interesting, like, we both sit here in, Los Angeles, California, and it's like pretty much have access to just about any brand you can think of. But when you do think of a Missouri or maybe a neighboring state in the Midwest, the brand buildup just hasn't gotten there yet, So that's a interesting story to tell, like, as far as the growth is just it's going to take a while, but it's here to stay because there're just so many underserved markets.
Right. But also the reason why the brands do go to the cities like Los Angeles, Miami, Austin first is so they know that they can survive there, they can survive anywhere, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the thought process around that, which I totally agree, because these are the best places to be. There's a lot of consumption going on, and it's just a good test market.
Yeah, yeah, definitely understand that. And I guess with this next question, we already have a good understanding. Like, it feels like you're just the founding of your business almost seems like a partnership, how you found your business partner. But are there any other collaborations or partnerships that you form that have really helped grow and propel your business?
Oh, definitely. I mean, people are the number one thing, and I have always been given great advice, specifically from my grandfather. Just always follow people and look to where the good people are, and you'll know when you find them. And for me, my sales team have been just the really a major ingredient to the success of the brand to this day. And also just all of these kind of collaborations is the better word. Bachelorette groups, a group that I work with called Batch Me, they're wonderful. They support the brand, and it's another female founded business. And I also just connect with female founders in the cities that I'm in, female founders that kind of run event businesses. at concert venues. They buy Damright to support me. I'll give them a discount to support them. And finding people that really actually care about the brand and care about you and your success and vice versa is the most important thing that I've had, because without them, without these people, there would be no Damright, really. My team down in Mexico's very efficient and they know exactly what they're doing. I put a lot of trust in them in the beginning because I did not know what I was doing. And they knew a lot what they were doing. And this market in this product is very new. So we kind of experimented at the beginning, like you said, and like you introduced me, we were the first organic tequila canned cocktail. So we had a lot of experimentation going on. But there's been a lot of groups that have really helped me to get to this point, and I'm grateful for all of them.
Right. A lot of resources, it sounds like, that you've been able to draw upon. And so for the audience out there, if you're just joining us, you are listening to the Sipping Success podcast. We are talking with Gabby Fitzpatrick. She's the CEO and founder of Damright Cocktails. And we're getting down to our last couple questions. Sadly, it's been a great interview, and nice having you on the show there, Gabby. So let's maybe take a step back with this next question. What advice would you give, and let's maybe think within your community. I mean, what advice would you give maybe another female founder that's looking to break through in spirits?
Well, I think the biggest thing that I kind of hurried up and did not take from other people is listen and take the advice of the others who have done it before.
Mhm.
Because there's really a formula to getting off the ground, no pun intended.
Mm.
And it's very much obvious that in order for a brand to survive, you have to do well in your backyard. And that is so clear to me now, 3 years into it, because this is such a laborious industry, having to go to liquor store and sell your brand. You don't want to do that all across the country. You want to do it in your backyard. So launch in a place that you can walk around and go out your front door and be able to access the liquor stores down your street. Listen to others and don't, think that you're smarter than anyone else who has done this, because I kind of didn't listen to that advice and really take the time to speak with anyone else. And the other biggest thing is like, be patient, because I'm not patient at all. I don't even wait in line. I hate waiting in line to even get my coffee in the morning. Be patient, because it'll take for some people, it takes years to figure out, things. And don't be too hard on yourself, because you're doing something that's great. And also reach out to me, because I will help. I've advised a few startups in the space, and there's so many people that have done it that want to help others, because we have so much learnings from in our mistakes, and is really great to help other founders. And that's my whole thing. My whole goal is to help other underrepresented founders in this industry, because there are not many of us, and we all want each other to succeed.
Okay, that's great. And then, so this next question, we want to make sure that we have everything kind of straight and dialed in here. And what I mean is, let's make sure that we kind of properly promote you, like where people can interact with you online. So give us your website, how people can get in contact with you if they have a question, or, if they're a new founder, or thinking about founding something. And any other like socials or anything other digitally that people can interact with.
Yep. And honestly, reach out to me, because I would love to help. My website is damrightcocktails.com. I've got LinkedIn, Gabrielle Fitzpatrick. Our Instagram is Damright Cocktails. It's all Damright Cocktails.
Okay.
And my email is just my name, Gabrielle@damrightcocktails.com. I would
Great.
love to get on the phone and chat with anyone who's thinking about starting a business or just to pick each other's brains.
Great. And so we'll in our show notes, we'll make sure and have some of those links to all the socials
Perfect.
there. So that about wraps us up, though. We really want to thank you for spending the time with us on Sipping Success, and congratulations to all of your success. Cheers to you. And that'll wrap us up. So thanks, Gabby.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful. And you listened to another episode of Sipping Success. Until next time, I'm your host, Casey Haakinson. Thanks.
And that's a wrap on another insightful episode of Sipping Success, brought to you by Mushroom Media. We hope our discussions have left you thirsting for more knowledge in the world of beverages and alcohol. Stay connected with us on social media for updates. And remember, the journey to success is best enjoyed one sip at a time. Keep exploring trends, connecting with leaders, and scaling your brand. Until our glasses meet again, cheers to your continued success. And may your cups always runneth over with inspiration. We'll catch you in the next episode.